Rotten and Forgotten. Today, we're going to be making this machine a little more user-friendly. This Olympic, we fixed up a little bit, but we've got a lot left to do. Basically everything that we just skipped over on the last episode. So starting off, we're going to fix that carburetor, clean it all out, make sure this motor, runs good. Then, we're going to build a seat for it, so you got somewhere to sit. Check our fluids, in the chain case, and check out our bogies, grease them up and whatnot. And then align the track and send her down the road, or out for a ride, I guess. But we got a lot of things to do, see how much we can get done. I'm hoping to wrap this up tonight, but we'll see how that goes. We're gonna work on getting this carburetor cleaned up first. I did take it for a lap the other night, and it was spitting and sputtering. I was a little worried I wasn't gonna make it back, but once it saw the shop lights, it started running better again, so it just needs a cleaning. You dig junk out of the woods, it's bound to fail, unless you fix it up right, I guess. But, looks like a guy put some hose clamps on here, and yeah, should go pretty good, right? I see we got some hood cracks to address too. We'll get that done this episode. That should be fun. Maybe when this carburetor's baking, we can get after that. There. Carburetor is removed. Only got one washer. Oh, no, we do got them both. Cool. Let's get this thing in the ultrasonic and, get it cleaned. You've seen me do this before, we got the duck juice in here, Dawn dish soap, and just dump her in there, throw the carburetor in there and let it bake. Something like that. I'm gonna spill some gas now, or we're not. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Cool, I guess. This is a pretty dirty carburetor. It'll do it wonders. Being in this solution, we'll have to rotate it a couple times. Sorry about the noise, but too bad. While our carburetor bakes over there, we're gonna, get rid of this, rotten wood. I'm a little bit nervous. I haven't checked underneath it yet. We may be patching some holes, but with a little bit of luck, it's just, fresh rot, maybe. Yeah. Anyways, let's, get after it. Holy cow! This thing's got studs on it. That is surprising. A studded skidoo. That's new. That bolt came out, so that's great. We're going to take our light out now. It's held on by a Phillips screw and a bolt. Probably factory. Not sure. Okay. I don't think I can. Here. Oh. Got that light moved out of the way. Let's take a look. It's not too bad. A little bit of holes, but nothing too crazy. I can live with that. She's not rusted out too bad. 2 holes where the seat bolts go through. That's pretty common, but other than that, it's good metal. So we might throw a washer on there and weld it on and call it good. I'm thinking. We'll see. The tilly got done baking, so we're going to pull it out. And it's looking pretty good. There's still a lot of dirt on there. But we're going to pull it apart, take lots of pictures, throw everything back in, separate it, and let her bake for another 10 minutes or so. Just get that stuff out of there. Hear that noise? That's the noise I get when there's good deals around. I'm not even gonna look at it though, because I ain't got the time. But that's a dangerous thing to have the Facebook notifications going off. The guy should mute those, then you know, you won't be buying junk. We're gonna split this after. This thing ran, and it's pretty disgusting. Tell our diaphragms are, you know, tired. It was running though. I mean, I'll give it that. Oh. Oh my goodness. Hey. I might know why it wasn't running, you know, the greatest. That right there is a Welch plug, you know, not in its spot. I've seen this happen before, you know, remember a couple episodes back with Steve, but this is pretty impressive. Our diaphragm is crusty, like really crusty. Not surprised by that, but this Welch plug, I can't believe it was even running. Look at that. That is something else. Maybe the ultrasonic, you know, worked her loose, but I doubt it. It appears to, you know, have been out for a little while. Well, that needed to, you know, be replaced on, obviously. That's, yeah, look at this diaphragm though. I can't get over that. That is, what is that even on there? Well, that's a chunk of the Welch. No, what? I don't know. 302 is just a beast, I guess. Yeah, last episode I called it a 303. Settle down, I know. And I called it 250 or 247 and 250 and rookie mistakes. But I can't believe that Welch plug's out of there. Look how nasty that is too. I kinda almost feel bad about running it, but I really don't, because it's a Tilson and it's a Skidoo. It'll be fine. Now, if you remember the last episode, I was dinking around with the Tilson, I think, when I was working on Steve. I screwed this spring up. I don't have another one, so I gotta be extra careful and keep track of that rig, because that would be a bad deal. We're gonna let them parts, you know, bake again for quite a while. I'm gonna take a vacuum, start sucking some of the stuff off of the Olympic back there, and, you know, start eyeing up other possible issues. I've got, you know, some pretty nasty cracks on this hood. They go all the way through. There's one right here and there's one on the side. We're gonna take our soldering iron here, and I've had, you know, the zip tie on there, getting her hot. But we're just gonna kind of melt her back together and try to, you know, keep it from continuing the crack. And yeah, we'll do all of our melting on the bottom or back side so it doesn't show, but it shouldn't go too bad. The key's not to go too far, but, you know, get her in there enough so it seals back up. It's probably ain't the right thing to do, but I've done it quite a bit with some, you know, pretty good success. It's better than just leaving it, you know, the way it is, because that crack will only expand. Next thing you know, your hood's completely shot. The finished result looks something like that. You know, I just poked it in and out, worked my way up, and, you know, I was able to keep it from puncturing through, but that just, you know, fixed it. Now, a guy can glue it up a little bit if you want, but this will be fine, you know, for what I'm doing with it. So I vacuumed all this out, but I noticed our spring's a little wonky in the secondary. It looks like that little tab jumped out of the slot, so we're gonna have to, you know, get that back in somehow. Without pulling the secondary, you know, that would be ideal. There we go. We got that secondary put back together. Needed another hand, but we got her done. We're gonna grease on our bogies a little bit. Carburetor's done, so that's great. It's looking pretty good compared to what it was before. We'll still hit that with some carb spray, and we got some parts in here, and this is hot. I know it's hot. I burnt my fingers, but I got everything out. This high needle looks like crap still, so that's great. I'm gonna hit her with the old Scotch-Brite pad and bring it back to spec, maybe. We're gonna let this, bake again, the whole pumper situation going on this carburetor. And I'm gonna take this and go spray it with some hand carb cleaner, getting some of the crevices, get the rest of the dirt out of it, and then we'll drill out this Welch plug. Our carburetor's done baking, so we're gonna put it back together. Starting with, this Welch plug. I could drill out, the ball valve Welch plug, but that's working. I can hear it in there. It was running too, so I'm not gonna mess with it because I don't have one to replace it. So we're just gonna run with it, Not the right thing to do, but neither is putting a Vertex carburetor kit in, because they're like the cheapest ones out there and they're kind of junk. It might last you a year, maybe. I haven't been having very good luck with them, but I've got a whole bunch to burn up, so that's why I've been using them. I have bought like the $50 genuine parts one off eBay. They work pretty darn good. I've had a lot less issues with them, but it is what it is. Apparently you need the overhaul kit to get the Welch plugs, but I didn't get that one. So that's nifty, but I had, one laying around. So I'm in luck. A guy should just buy some extra Welch plugs and have them on hand, because sometimes they rattle out, and sometimes you don't need to replace anything. You just got to clean out underneath there to get that ball valve going again. But we're going to use a pretty big roll pin punch. Center it up on here, then tap it with a hammer. That seems to work the best for me, Then you're not going to puncture it at all. A good punch would work too, or whatever you got laying around, but this is pretty critical. I've seen them fall off. They don't run good, so you kind of want it to stay in there. Some guys use Loctite around it, but I haven't done that yet. I probably should, considering my loss rate, but I don't know. That should work. Is it going to fall right out? No, we're good. Now we're going to look at our pictures, make sure we put all the diaphragms on the correct way, and start slapping the stuff together. Got a new gasket, we put on there in between our block and our carburetor, so that's good. Let's get this thing on here and, get some lines hooked up and try her out. See if it's gonna run again. Run better, maybe. Ugh, I got her. Got a lot of gas in my face too, but that's how you do that. My belt ain't on there, but let's give it a shot, see what it sounds like, if it's gonna run at all. And if it is, we'll make sure she ain't revving to the heavens and, trying to self-destruct. pumping. What's going on? She should have started by now. Well, that's running like absolute dog poop. I did something wrong, obviously, because that's not right at all. So, you know, let's just think about it a little bit. What would have I done? It's like she ain't sucking, but it is. Ball valve? No way. The only thing I didn't take apart. I'm not thinking it's ball valve though. I'm not sure what it is. It should just be purring like a kitten, but instead it's spitting and sputtering and it can barely walk. Great. If you guys haven't already, make yourself the 9013. It is the most useful wrench ever for working on single cylinders. It's almost impossible to do it without one, unless you got a toe split you can jam in there or something. And it's, you know, it's just nice. It's worth the sacrifice of a good wrench. Okay, back to the bench. Let's figure this out. We're back, you know, rebuilding. Rebuilding the rebuild. Is that possible? Something just ain't correlating here. My brain doesn't know what it is yet. There, I just dropped my filter in the nastiest junk possible into the ultrasonic. Yeah, I don't know. This one could be a brain stumper. I think I put everything back together, right? I guess we'll find out. This is often, you know, the real side of things. Some guys like to edit all this fun stuff out, but I'm not good enough of an editor. And I think it's fun too. Makes these videos a little more interesting. Lovely. Everything looks right. The needle is moving, correct? Yes. What are the chances it's the ball valve that I neglected? Probably pretty high. I don't see how it could run, you know, without the ball valve though. Unless it was bypassing enough gas. I don't know. My mind is boggled right now. I don't understand how it could even run with that Welch plug out. You know what they say, the cheap route ends up costing you more in the long run. And this time, they may be true, or right, or whatever you want to say. This drill bit's about as sharp as a pebble, you know. It doesn't cut at all. There it is. Wow, that's a dull drill bit. Welch plug out. A guy should have cleaned that. What an idiot. Why would you not do it when you're already in there? It's beyond me. Well, I know why. I was trying to get this done. That didn't work. And this thing's gonna be stuck, right? Ugh. Nope, not quite. It's coming out. A little greasy in there. The ball's moving. So that's not our issue. Maybe it is. I don't know. Carburetor adjustment. For an Olympic 300 302 HR74A, low speed 3/4 out, high speed adjustment 1 inch. Not 1 one turn out. 3/4 turn out on low, 1 turn out on high. So as you can see here, this is where your ball valve goes, and your high speed adjustment goes through that. So, you know, it makes sense, I guess. That's how you're adjusting your flow in that. So we gotta back her out 1 turn. There's half a turn, 1 turn. I really didn't want to be right here right now. I'd rather be riding, but this lead had a different plan for me, I guess. There. Welch plug secured, like it should be. Needle's working. That's working. And we can blow air through this. Okay. Everything should be how it should be, I think. Diaphragm should be working. I mean, that's the most important part, I'd say. Okay, maybe we got her this time. I think I have no idea what I did differently, but check the ball valve, I guess. Next up, we'll just start adjusting the screws until something happens, or yeah. We're gonna throw this carburetor on for the second time. See, you know, if we're gonna get lucky on this one. Probably might, maybe. Round 2, let's see if it's gonna do the same thing. If it does, I'm gonna have to, you know, sleep on it, think about it, and come back here and attack it tomorrow. But we don't know yet. We'll see shortly. Not sounding too promising yet. Give it a squirt. Oh no. I'm gonna be sad, I think. Good news, I had something, you know, wrong going on in the first rebuild, but the second one seems to kind of work. We won't know until we throw a belt on and, you know, get her out the door and pull some RPMs, but yeah, it's pulling its own fuel now. I think I may have had that first diaphragm off a turn, so that port going on the far side was locked, you know. Not sure though, maybe it was the Welch plug, maybe it was, you know, just a fussy carburetor. But let's put a belt on here, go for a spin, and then, yeah, we'll probably have to call it a night because it got kind of late, but. this yet, but we gotta bring him to the shop because it's my shop kitty. Don't die. Oh, it died on me. We gotta get my shop kitty into the shop though. Well, the Olympic, it's running. Idle's kind of messy, but I caught myself a shop cat, so that's kind of fun. Don't know what I'm gonna name the little guy yet, but I gotta feed him and tame him. He's been running around all winter. Surprised he hasn't froze his paws off yet, but yeah, another mission, I guess. But thanks for watching Rotten and Forgotten. I appreciate it. We'll get that skidoo back in here, next episode, build a seat and whatnot. But yeah, wow. It died out there. I didn't want to scare the kitty anymore, so left him in here. But wow, he's a tough looking cat too. He's missing half his ear. He needs to be in here. For those of you wondering about the shop cat, and you might think it's inhumane to trap him or whatever, this is a feral wild cat, and he was starving. So, I trapped him and I brought him in the shop and fattened him up for about 3 weeks. I ended up naming him Gordy, but Gordy didn't assimilate very well. He was still extremely wild. Every morning I'd go try to find him, and he was always in a new spot. Anyways, a fun fact about calico cats is 99.9% of them are females. So I guess Gordy was technically a she, but that doesn't matter. One morning, Gordy took a Freedom tractor out to safety, and he made it back to the wilderness. Now, I have seen him a few times here and there around the farm. He's hiding in sheds and whatnot, and he's still alive to my knowledge, so that's kind of fun. But anyways, thank you guys for watching Rotten and Forgotten. We'll catch you on the next one.